Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today's topic is going to be about the godfather of social media automation, and that is Jarvee. Now, most people use Jarvee for Instagram or maybe for YouTube or Pinterest, but today I'm focusing mainly on Instagram. The reason being I actually use a version of the software, and recently it's actually started working. So if you didn't know, if you haven't yet used it, about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, Instagram sort of figured out a way how they could block Jarvee and the previous predecessor Mass Planner. So what happened overnight, millions of accounts on Instagram were being used by these social media automation tools, and they got stopped. But over this last couple of weeks, everything's sort of been lifted. I noticed I did a few test accounts. Everything's running absolutely fine. There are still a few little blocks, but nothing that is permanently staying. So that's really good news. So today what I'm going to be doing is sort of showing you what Jarvee is, giving you a few tips on how you should use it properly so you don't get in trouble. And of course, if you haven't yet used any of the tools mentioned, I have left some links in the description. There is going to be a bonus today for people who aren't yet using Jarvee but decide to. I'm actually going to create a bonus training showing you exactly the settings that I'm using. If you do decide to get it, just sign up with Jarvee through my link, and I've left another link where you can leave your email and name, and I'll send you through the training. So that's all in the description if you want to check it out. So let's get into today's training. So first of all, Jarvee, what is it? Well, as I mentioned, it's the biggest social media automation tool around. It covers pretty much every social media, not yet TikTok, but I know it's in the pipeline. There must be some mega masterminds behind the software because they are always on ball for updating their script if something changes. There is literally probably about 50,000 users on it, maybe even more. And there is also a massive community inside of Jarvee. Now, if you do sign up, you'll see all the information for those. I'm not actually going to name them on here. Once again, it's against Instagram's terms of service, as well as all the other social medias. So I'm trying not to be too public about it. Once again, all the details are in the description. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to jump behind the screen, and I'm going to show you all the right tools you need to get so you can avoid blocks, avoid getting your accounts in trouble, and also how to make it run on full automation. It's very vital, and I know a lot of people skimp on these things and it just bites them in the butt for later, because it does take a little bit of time to set these things up, but once it's set up, it's just going to run on autopilot for as long as you want it to. So it's very cool stuff. I'm going to jump behind the screen now and let's get into it. Okay guys, here we are behind the screen. Now I just wanted to start off on the Jarvee website so I could talk a little bit about it. If you haven't yet, once again, got Jarvee, you can get it for free. The link to the trial is in the description, and I'll also send you through a bonus training with all of the current settings I'm using, because settings are really important. If you don't get the right ones, you could potentially get your account blocked. So first of all, free links there, go check it out. And there's not really too much you need to know. One thing you do need to understand though is Jarvee is a Windows-based software, so you will have to get Windows. I myself am a Mac user, but regardless if you are a Windows or Mac, there is one particular service that I recommend you get, which also Jarvee recommends you get, and I'll get to that in a second. But just before I do, I want to let you know about the pricing. Now, one thing that it's hard to see around here is actually how much it costs if you go down to the bottom and pricing plans, just so you can understand how much this thing's actually going to cost you. It's $30 a month or $29.95, and you'll get 10 social medias, right? So after your 5 days, sorry, not 7, 5 days free trial, you'll have to upgrade to one of the packages. If you're just starting off, $29.95 is great. And if you compare it to other services out there, right? Because I know there is a lot. The most common I've found is one called STIM Social, and it's the same sort of thing. And just to let you know, this is $50 a month, and I've looked at other ones as well, and they're about $50 roughly a month anyway. If you go with the cheaper ones, they usually use cheaper services, which can get your account in trouble. So trying to skimp on these sort of things can cause your account to potentially get blocked. So just let you know, spend a little bit of money and it's going to make your account safer, all right? So that's how much it's going to cost, $29. And the other thing that you need to know is you need to get a service called Green Cloud, right? And Green Cloud's actually recommended by by Jarvee. It's somewhere in one of these things. But what it is a virtual proxy server, right? And what that means is it's a computer in the cloud, right? So I don't use Windows, I use Mac. But what I've done is I've created a Windows computer in the cloud, and I've installed Jarvee on that. Now, there is an extremely important reason for that, and that is because if I installed it on my computer, say this was a Windows computer, and I shut it off, the script or the program's going to stop running, right? And we want this program to run 24 hours a day, you know? And if I wanted to create a computer and then have it running on that all day, every day, you know, it's going to take up more power than it's actually worth, and it's going to put miles on the computer. So instead, what you can do is use these virtual private servers, or proxy servers, I think they're called. And what it's going to do is it's going to give you the fastest speed possible, and it's going to allow your virtual computer to run all day, every day, which is what we want it to do, okay? So once you have come to this page, what we want to do is come to Windows VPS. Once again, there's a link in the description for this. There is one called Jarvee Optimize VPS. If you want to go straight there, the link is also in the description. It comes straight here. Now, you'll see it's also another $26 a month for the cheapest one. If you get more accounts, like if you get 70 accounts on Jarvee, obviously it's going to cost you a lot more. But to start off, you're going to need to pay the $26 a month. And that's because this particular Windows computer has been optimized so your Jarvee account will run without any hiccups. Now, it might not seem, it's probably a lot overkill to start with for Jarvee if you're only using one account, but the more accounts you get, the more things you do. Let's just say you wanted to have automatic posting, then you wanted to do automatic, you know, following and unfollowing, and then you maybe wanted to like, maybe you wanted to comment. All of these things are going to start building up, right? So on this one here, I could say you could run 10 accounts safely, right? So that's fine. That's why they've made it like this. It's specifically for Jarvee. And then with the other packages, Advanced and Guru, it's the same with the Jarvee pricing as well. So they've made it relatively the same. So it's really cool. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to go show you one more thing to worry about. Now, just another rule of thumb, which people seem to skip on, is proxies, right? Now, if you don't know what a proxy is, it's like an IP address, right? So if you look on your phone, you like type in Google, what is my IP? It'll come up with this crazy number, right? And what you want to do is have no more than 5 accounts on one IP, right? So what that means is you could create 5 accounts. If you've got anything under 5, no worries, no problems at all. If you get 6 accounts, it's going to ping a little, you know, warning notice to Instagram, because on phones you're allowed to have 5 Instagram accounts on one phone, right? So as soon as you have 6, they'll be like, hang on, what's going on here? And that's when you've actually got to get a mobile proxy. Now, just to clear the air, a lot of people tend to skimp on this and then buy what's called a shared proxy, or different types of proxies. I'll just show you different types of proxies that you can get. So I'll just type in mobile proxies. So I always recommend mobile proxies, but a specific one. So there's all these different types of proxies out there, and there are a lot of cheap ones, right? But what happens if you get a cheap one is a lot of people are sharing it. So instead of having your own proxy for your own 5 accounts, it might already have 5 accounts, and then it's just going to instantly ping. So whatever you do, don't get shared proxies, don't get dedicated proxies, don't get anything like that. But this is the service I recommend. It is $20 a month, so it is a lot more expensive than the $1 proxies, but this is a brand new mobile proxy, so it looks like a mobile phone, and it is dedicated just to you, right? It's $20 a month, so you can get another 5 accounts on that. So if you add the IP address that's already on the virtual computer, right? So when you get one of these, you get your own virtual computer. It's not really shared with anyone else. You can still use 5 to start with. As soon as you get to 6, you want to get this particular service here. I'll also link to this particular site in the description. But that is what I recommend. I've used it and it works. So that's the things you need to look out for. Okay, now let's just talk about different things that can potentially get you banned, right? It's extremely easy to set up. I'm not actually going to show you the software on here because it can actually get Jarvee in trouble, which is not the idea behind this video. But things you need to think about are starting off slow and increasing over time, right? So a lot of people will put their accounts on, they'll put them on these crazy high numbers, and then their accounts just get flagged, and it's going to stay flagged for up to 30 days, right? So that's a really bad start. So always start low and gradually go faster, and always try to gradually introduce new actions to each account, right? So let's just say, first of all, I wanted to do a reposting account. So start off with posting, give it a couple of days, and then maybe I want to start following people. So after a couple of days, maybe I'll start off following people really low, and then let that go. And then after that, maybe a week later, I want to start unfollowing people because it's already started building up, right? So that, and then I'll turn on unfollow. Maybe I want to send DMs. Maybe then after that, I would, wait a couple more days after unfollowing and start introducing them. See, the problem that people are doing right now is these accounts are either brand new or they've just been sitting there doing nothing. Then all of a sudden they're getting all of these actions getting sent to them. And then Instagram's like, hey, this is way too much. This is obviously being automated. Then they'll flag your account. So just slowly introduce them, right? It's not a hard thing to imagine, but it's something that you guys should look out for. And just to let you know, at the moment I've got 25 accounts running particular campaigns. They're not my personal accounts, just to test it out, and so far none of them have had any issues, but I'll talk more about that in the tutorial, and I'll also show you about how to set up your VPS and everything, so it's real easy. I should probably also mention, once you get your VPS, what you want to do is download this this app. It's free to download. It's called Microsoft Remote Desktop, and what that's going to do is it's actually going to allow you to log into your VPS. So I'm just going to pause this video and get some details, and I'm going to show you how you actually use it. Okay, welcome back. Now I have here my Microsoft Remote Desktop open, so this is ready to go. It might say this on it, but don't worry, it's been saying that for 2 or 3 years. It's completely fine, and this is the icon if you want to compare it. I know there are a couple of versions. Try to get the square one if possible. I think it's just a little bit easier to use, but that's just personal preference. Now here is actually this is my spare account for teaching. As you can see, I've had 2 services in here before, MP Starter and New SEO 2, which have now been rebranded to the Jarvee Beginner, I think it's called. So what you want to do once you've finally set up your own server and you've downloaded Microsoft Remote Desktop, what you want to do is come on here, click on the side of one of these products, whichever one is yours and active, and then you want to come down to configurable options, right? And it's going to have your login details here, right? It could even be on additional, I can't remember which one. But it's going to tell you pretty much your username and your password, right? And then it's going to have on the server information your primary IP. So to add everything in, all we need to do is open Remote Desktop, Microsoft Remote Desktop, click New, and then we want to add in the connection name, which I'm going to have as the IP. Okay. Paste that in there. I can put in the host name if I want, which is I put here Phil Insta. Cool. And then just here your username and password, which will be in one of these 2 tabs, and that's pretty much it. Once you've filled everything in, I'll just put in this. It's not going to actually work though, because that's right, but you just put in your username and password there, click on the X, and then it's going to show up here. And then to actually get into it, you just double click and it's going to say initializing, come up with all the stuff. Obviously my logins were incorrect, so it's not going to work, but that's pretty much how it's going to work. And then it will open with your new Windows computer. Now I probably should have mentioned the one you want is the Windows Server 2012 or higher, but if it is a Jarvee based program like it is, it's actually going to be installed with that anyway, so that's completely fine. So what kind of things can Jarvee actually do, right? So I'm going to just quickly go over a few features, ones that I've used, ones that I haven't used, just to let you know sort of what is possible, particularly for Instagram on this video, right? So what I mainly use it for is post scheduling, auto reposting. It's really, really good if you're creating like a community page. Like if you look at any of the big, say, travel pages, any type of food pages, fitness pages, anything like that, you'll notice there's these big accounts that don't have anyone behind the scenes, you know. It's not a face, there's not a face to the account, it's a faceless account, and it's just reposting other people's information. Really, really, really good chance it's using Jarvee to actually do all this. and there's a good chance that they're actually part of bigger communities that, you know, engage with each other and that sort of thing. So that does all the reposting. You can also do, you know, following back, unfollowing, depending on what you're trying to do. I've got accounts that are growing without using this method, so you don't have to use it. It's all about posting really good content, not so much doing the whole follow unfollow thing. You can also do auto likes. Liking's really good. Auto comments, kind of spammy, don't really do that one. Deleting posts if you want to repurpose an account, probably shouldn't though. But apart from that, I mainly manage my messages. So the really good thing about Jarvee, right, is once all your accounts are logged in, you can actually go through and have a look at all of the direct messages in each account on one platform. I don't know if there's any other platform in the world right now that can actually do that. So it's major brownie points right there. And also things like delete comments. You can set them up so if you've got people like swearing or, you know, saying words that you don't want to, you can automatically delete them. And the other one I mainly use is spin tags. So a good example of this is if I repost a post of someone's and maybe they're already a repost account, I can actually change their words to look something different. And then the same thing for direct messaging. I can set up these different algorithms, so what's going to happen is it's never going to send the same message twice, which is going to look really good for it's going to look really good for Instagram. Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, man, this is spammy, it's not spammy if you don't make it spammy, right? There is a lot of ways that you can ruin it for other people, but the whole point of it's trying to make something that is complete and something that works and something that's not, you know, misleading people or either just being plain spammy, you know, with all this get rich quick stuff and all that. Instead, I create accounts that give away like things like free ebooks that lead them into like my funnels that come into my own personal brand and marketing. And then I also have other ones that run to, you know, landing pages where I can run Facebook ads because they were interested in the free offers I was giving. So that's how I sort of use it. It's less spammy than a lot of people are using it for, but that's the way I try to teach it. It's always give value up front. So that's pretty much it. And then I also want to talk about Pinterest. Now, this is very, very new for me. I've only just started doing this, but there are a few really good points that I'm just going to touch on before I start wrapping up this video. But there's auto repinning, right? So think of it as this way. How are things viral, right? You know, viral content usually stays evergreen. You can post it timelessly and it's always going to go viral, or to an extent have higher engagement than other posts. So what you can actually do is you can filter posts based on either hashtags or people you're following or whatever, and you can get the best possible content that's gone viral before, and then you can repin it, right? And it can either be to your boards or other people's boards you have access to. So that to me is like the gold mine right now. And the other part of that is not only can you auto repin other people's stuff or your own stuff, you can filter content, right? So let's just say I wanted to get the top, 0.1% of all the content in the world. What I could do is I could actually set a few parameters, create a secret board, and then I could pin all of those massively viral pins and put them into my board. And then this board's of course secret. So what you can do then is take inspiration and create content that's similar, like very similar, but not the same. It's got your own personal twist, and then there's a really good chance it's going to go viral. So these are just like little things that you can do on here. You can also do all this auto follow and stuff, but I prefer like organic viral types of marketing. But that's really exciting. I've only just started digging into it and I'm already getting great results. So that's very exciting. Now, what else is there? There's also things like LinkedIn, Tumblr, all that sort of stuff, YouTube. I haven't really used all these. There's Facebook as well. There's just so much that you can actually do with Jarvee. I wish I could know it all, but of course it's all use specific as well. Everyone has got different reasons for using it, so I'm sure it's actually got enough for you guys. Google Plus I don't even think exists anymore, so they should probably update that. But apart from that, that is probably like the fastest description I could give you of this mega tool. It is literally a game changer. Just to let you know, I've pretty much been subscribed to either Jarvee or its predecessor, Mass Planner, for like the last 5 years. So I'm a very big time user, and it's not for so much my personal accounts, it's more my other brand faceless accounts, to help either gather data for particular campaigns, or just create viral media and that sort of stuff. So that's pretty much just what I wanted to show you on here. Once again, it's Jarvee. You want to host it on Green Cloud. And if you have more than 5 accounts, you want to start using mobile proxies. Now, just to let you know, this particular brand, Happy Media, they don't always have them on here. So you've got to check every couple of days to see if they have some proxies to use. I noticed they actually have some available now. They haven't had any before today because a few other friends were trying to get into it. So always have a look if it's taken. If there's none available, yeah, just keep coming back to it. So you want a mobile proxy, and you want the mobile static private proxy server. It's a tongue twister, that one, but it should be about 20 bucks a month, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. And once again, the Microsoft Remote Desktop app, and then you can add it in like so. So I'm just going to jump behind the camera, talk to you more about the bonus, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, guys, so that is Jarvee. Wow, what a tool, right? It's got every single thing you could possibly want using it. So that's pretty much it. So what I mentioned before is if you use the links described in the video, I'm actually going to create a bonus training right after this about how you can set up your VPS, your Green Cloud Windows cloud-based server, how you can install Jarvee, and then the best settings for brand new accounts that you can potentially use so you can avoid getting blocked, avoid getting disabled, and that kind of thing. Plus, I'll also mention some other little hacks that I'm using now, things like auto reposting and spin tax. So that's all going to be in the training. It can be absolutely free to you if you just use the links mentioned in the video. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I could talk about Jarvee for days. It's absolutely incredible. But if you've liked this video, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I am going to be creating more cool training videos like this, and I hope to see you on the next ones. If you do use Jarvee, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video.